Alright guys, so check this out. This is a corner lot, almost 7,000 square feet by the University of Alberta. So I used to be really shy trying to take videos right on the street here where people can kind of see me, but whatever. I want to give you guys some game, put you guys on, tell you how development actually works, how I did this with $0, how we're funding it, how we're building it, how I hired these guys without any experience. I don't even know what they're doing really. I know they're just digging and putting in the servicing in the middle. How we're digging, how many feet to dig, what the next steps are, why I picked this land over other lands. I actually have a couple more other projects as well, but how to manage it, how to structure the bank draws, how to get funded, all these in this video. So first and foremost, let me just give you the numbers. Bought this land for $615,000 cash with my investors. So they put up all the money, I put in $0. $0 of my own money. Now, why would I do this? Because I did all the work. I found the deal. It was actually a private sale. This was not on the market. This was a private owner. I negotiated the price and I was able to get it. People thought I was crazy for paying $615,000, where most houses like these, this was a tear down piece of garbage house, by the way, and should have just been worth only like $450,000 or $500,000. But I knew this location. I knew. Take a look at my neighbors here. They're building probably like 200 units over here combined, and so I know the potential in this neighborhood, and I took a chance. So before it's even finished, we do what's called an appraisal, an as-if complete appraisal. And it appraised at 3.1 million. Okay, 3.1. Now I bought this land for 615. My total cost is 1.5 mil. All right, so 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 615, and we've got soft costs, closing costs, we've got construction, interest costs as well, etc. I don't know what she's doing, but it's part of it. So all-in costs, we're looking at 2.3. Okay, 2.3 mil. Appraised at 3.1. Huge spread, $800,000. So how does it work? So the as-if complete appraisal is based off the drawings that you give the appraisal company. You do the drawings, the blueprints before you build, because you need, obviously they need to know what to build it according to, right? So we hit up an architecture and they draw it up based on what we want to build. So I knew that I could build 8 units on here, actually 7, but because you need certain setbacks, density requirements, etc. But 7 legal units, and then we'll have an 8th, so because there's enough space. We could talk about that too, but it's gonna be 2 stories and then a basement suite. Okay, so the basements will have 2 bedrooms. The main floor will have 1 bedroom, and then the second floor will have 3 bedrooms as well. Because it's close to the university, we'll probably have, you know, the demographic will be probably families or students, whatever the case may be. But essentially how it works is this is going to be long-term tenants. Okay, this is not for Airbnb. We're not doing short-term rentals. It's all long-term. I like long-term because it's passive for me and my property manager. It's a lot easier. Yes, we could make more money by doing short-term rentals, but I don't care because I have multiple of these projects on the go, and I'd rather do more. I'd rather spend my energy building more, doing more projects like this, finding more land, doing more deals. I'm looking at more deals in Florida. So I'd rather spend my time doing that than managing and making an extra, whatever, 30% more cash flow from Airbnbs. Now, a lot of people tell you to not listen to me and do Airbnbs. That's fine. Anyways, so the $800,000 of equity that we created from this, we'll pull it out via a refinance once it's finished. Okay, so during construction, when we're building, we have a construction loan. Okay, after the construction loan, it has to be taken out with a term loan or a permanent loan, it's called. So that's usually with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, 30 to 50 year amortization, and usually 75 to 80% LTV, okay, loan to value. So meaning if we do an 80% LTV off of this, once it's done, it's worth 3.1, so we could do 80% off of that, so that's about 2.5 mil, I believe, 2.6, and our total cost like I mentioned, is around 2.3. So we'll be able to pull out all of the initial investment that we put in, which is around 615 on this land, pull it out and have an extra another 200K on top of that, tax free, and keeping the building, all right, while keeping the building. So it's pretty insane. Basically, we are pulling out all the initial money and keeping the building. So if you think about literally, you know, investing, I don't know, 500 bucks in a piece of stock, and that stock gives it back out to you, gives back your 500 bucks plus dividends every single month. That's what this is. Okay, so the returns, I always say the returns on development is infinite. Now, I'm not trying to be cute by saying infinite returns. It's quite literally infinite returns, because you cannot divide zero by your total like you got back your entire investment, you broke even, and you pulled out a little bit of money, plus you're keeping the building for cash flow, and it's gonna appreciate, costs, depreciation, etc., right? So that's why it's an infinite return. Now, if you guys want to see a different view on this, I'll show you. We dug 6 feet deep in there. Now guys, let me tell you again, I don't know anything about building. I don't know anything about foundation. I don't know anything about lumber. I don't know anything about any of that. What I do know is how to find the deal, get it funded, okay, hire the right team, and manage the draws, the bank draws, and I know how to underwrite. That's it. I also know how to attract investors, gain their trust, and to be able to replicate and do this across multiple projects at scale. That's what I know what to do. So guys, when you want to be a developer, do not be an expert builder. Do not master 2x4s or concrete or, you know, triple pane windows or what windows are the best. That's a waste of your time, because at the end of the day, yes, I could learn the game and squeeze an extra maybe $100,000 profit because I negotiated better with the suppliers or negotiated with these guys and get their prices lower. But honestly, I want them to make a lot of money. Why? Because they will prioritize. Guys, they've been at my site for the past 3 days till 10 p.m. until 10 p.m. on a Saturday over other sites. You can't put a price to that, because the faster I get this done, the faster I can roll the funds over to another project. So guys, stop penny pinching your contractors. Pay them good. Make them be the best customer for them. Make them want to, you know, stop watching TV when you call them. You can't put a price on that, because when I called these guys, one of them was kind of still sleeping in, right? And he picked up my phone. Doesn't matter. He was in bed and he picked it up, because I don't want to say we overpay them, but we are one of their best customers. Okay, from your plumbers to your electricians to your excavators, your demo guys, pay them good. It will give you dividends. Okay, so that being said, guys, again, when you're a developer, you are a capital allocator. You're a capital allocator, meaning we are not builders. We're not builders. Okay, you don't want to be a builder. You don't want to start a building company. Trust me, you don't want to get your GC license. You don't want to get licenses for this and that. You don't want to do that. These guys have the license. Let them do it. Let them do all the work. So what is a developer? We are identifying the best locations in your market. Think about your market. Whether you're in North Carolina, you're in Florida, if you're in Miami, think about the locations where you want to build in, right? And then from there, understand how much these things are going for. Okay, so this is going to be like I said, an 8 unit, 7 unit, legally 8 units in this area, right? I know they go for 3 mil plus, okay, if I sell it, but I'm not gonna sell it because this is multifamily. I want to keep it. So you have to understand what they go for, right? And once you understand what they go for, then you gotta find land or tear down house. This used to be a house, okay? This used to be a house. Bought it with the house. I tore it down, demoed it. Cost like 20K to demo, okay? And that's part of the cost that I just told you, the 1.5. Now, once you do that, you know that you should find land that should be at least around 20 to 30% of your exit price, okay? So let's say this goes for 3 million. 30% of 3 million is 600,000, right? I think I did that right. That's 600K that you should buy the land for. Now, obviously I bought the land around there. So now again, you want to be as close to 20% as you can. So if it was 20%, then it would be, oh sorry, 20% is, yeah, 600,000 is 20%. So I bought this at the 20% mark. Yeah. So you want to be around the 20%. If you're creeping up the 30%, you are overspending on the land. But if it is a good location, guys, it's still worth it. Now, would I spend 30%? 30% of 3 mil is 900K, sorry, I think, right? Yeah, that'd be a little too much on this land, but I'd still make money. Because if I bought this for 900,000 instead of 600,000, I'd lose 300K. So instead of making, 800,000, I'd only make 500,000, which is, it still works out. So as you can see, the game of development is really, the margins are so big that it allows you to make mistakes like that and still win. You'll still win because the margins are so big. Now, in terms of, we could talk about the process of this. I'm in excavation, so we broke ground 3 days ago. Breaking ground means we started digging. Now usually I do grab a 21 ton, but this one's a 9 ton. This is a baby one, but it's all good. We could only get the small one because it's by the street here, so that's the thing, that's the issue, but it's all good. So that's what we're doing, guys. After this, we're putting in the servicing. After servicing, we're gonna get the forms in, so cribbing it's called, so we could form the concrete. Okay, pour the concrete. Once the concrete's done, boom, foundation's done, and then we build up from there. So that, usually we're already at like 15, some people would say 11%, but I'd say we're about 15% after the foundation. We could call in our first draw, okay, from the bank. So what does that mean? When I call in a draw, I build in a developer fee for myself usually, okay? So that depends on each project. You can build in around 100K on this kind of project. So what that means is, off your total cost, let's say it's 1.5, you could build in 100K, and then you could pull out some more money to pay yourself during the draws. Now I do have partners in this, so I didn't build in a developer fee for myself, but because I put in sweat equity, and that's the, I'm not making until it's finished. I'm not making any money until it's done, but I put in no money, and that's the arrangement I had with my partners. So it depends on how you want to go about with your partners. With my partners, I did 60-40, 60% to them, 40% for me. Okay, so I think that's fair. I put in all the work, they put in all the cash. So that's pretty cool, guys. And now obviously on top of the land, you do need some more money for the property taxes. There's insurance as well, etc. So that came up to around another 150K. So make sure you account for that. But guys, this is what we do here at Developer Launch. And developing real estate changes lives, because you are out of the fix and flip game. If you're a real estate agent, you are now using your powers as a realtor. You know what's sold in the past 12 months in the certain locations. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be developing yourself, okay? So you should be a developer. If you're a contractor, if you're a builder, you should be a developer, because why are you working for someone else getting paid, whatever, 5K, 10K to do the plumbing? You should be making $500,000 off of one project if you're doing your own development. You just gotta know where to find this land, okay? So that's what you guys should do, guys, honestly. Now, other than that, I mean, look, it requires a great team to be able to execute. Check this out, right? This is really cool. So finding the right team, guys, that is it's very important to know how to find the right team. So how do you do it? Guys, law, trial and error. The first builder I hired, horrible, the worst experience of my life, but I was lucky enough to be able to find these guys, and these guys are the best. So I was able to do that, obviously networking, but also going to other sites, checking them out and calling them, talking to them, seeing about, hey, I'm an upcoming developer, I want to develop. I need to know the cost per square foot. How much will it cost me to build something like this, like a 4-plex or an 8 unit, or if you're building a luxury home, how much will it cost? talk to those people and make sure you are framing yourself correctly. So what do I mean by this? Let me put you guys here again. Framing yourself correctly means you need to tell them you're not just going to be another retail customer for them, okay? Because if you just call them and say, hey, how much to build, how much is square foot, they're just going to give you a high square footage price. You need to tell them, hey, you're a developer and you're going to be building multiple of these, okay? And you need a partner to make sure that the numbers work for you at scale. So if you don't do that, they're just going to give you a high price, like 300, 400 bucks a square foot. You need someone who will give you the actual cost, and then you give them a fixed flat cost on top of that. So there's two ways. There's a fixed price contract or a cost plus. Now, I'll give you the pros and cons between both of them. The cost plus, they will give you all the cost at cost, okay? They charge your card, which by the way is amazing because you'll get flight points. You get to travel the world for free because you're running your credit card. You get millions of points off of just one project, right? Like the lumber alone on this is like 30,000. The windows alone is like 40. Anyways, it's super cool. But that's your cost plus. They'll give you the cost, and they'll charge you their project management fee or their GC fee on top. Okay, so that's cost plus. Now, in terms of a fixed price, they'll give you a fixed price. So let's say the fixed price would be, let's say 1.8 mil to do this. Now, the benefits is you don't have to worry about if material prices go up. They will handle that. But the downside is you won't be able to make as much money because they are making the spread, right? I always say for beginners, probably just do a fixed price. That way you can sleep well at night, and it's your first time, right? So whatever, if you don't make as much money, who cares? But at least you are protected. But once you get the hang of things, definitely do cost plus. That way you're getting everything at cost, and then you just give your project manager their fixed fee, okay? So I'm paying my guy $100,000 for this to manage it. Boom. That way it's semi-passive for me. I could travel, I could do whatever I want, and the project is going by itself. So guys, development is the best because number one, it's the most passive real estate vehicle ever, the most passive, okay? Number two, you can wear whatever you want. So I mean, technically I should be wearing, a hard hat and whatever, but as you can see, I'm just wearing runners, just wearing Skechers. I'm wearing a tank top, and I'm on site, right? It doesn't matter because I'm, kind of in charge. But so that's pretty cool. And then number three, you could also what was I gonna say? You could also make a lot of money, a lot more money than flipping. To make this kind of money in a flip, I have to do 10 flips, right? 10 flips at 80K profit each. 10 fix and flip, dude, that's too much work. I'd rather just do one of these, right, and scale. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, it's super passive. You got huge margins. You could do whatever you want, wear whatever you want. You could show up whenever you want because you got professionals on the job site taking care of everything for you. And instead of just chilling, doing nothing with your time, obviously go and do the next deal, right? And the next deal. That's what we're doing. We're creating generational wealth that compounds, and wealth that works without you because you are letting the money work for you, right? The money should be your slave. The money should do all the work for you. So that's what we're doing here. Pretty sick. And everything's brand new, guys. Everything is brand new. So instead of fixing and flipping an old 1930s, tearing down the walls, the floor, and boom, you got a nice surprise for a new sewage line. You gotta take new sewage. Nah. Everything's brand new, right? From the concrete to the foundation to the roof to the everything. Everything's brand new. So that's why you gotta develop. Developing is the best. Plus, at the end, guess what? You pull out the money, refinance, right? And you still keep the building. So your children's children will still have this, right? This will outlive me. This will be here until beyond I die. This will still be here. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, you could sell it if you want and make that quick profit if you want. Now, timelines. This one took considerably a lot longer. This has been a year and I just started to break ground. So that's unfortunately one of the downsides, but you can structure it where you can get paid from buying the land, you can get paid throughout the draws, okay? So you don't have to wait until it's fully finished for you to make money. So it's all good that way. But this could have been quicker if the city, and I could get into the politics, but the city wanted me to contribute to building their bus stop for them. Insane, like 15K just to build a bus stop, and the bus stop is just a concrete pad and a little pole. So it's like, I don't understand it, but whatever. So this could have been faster without all those politics. Plus, we went through like a bylaw change while I was doing the drawings, so that set me back another 3 months. 3 months for the bus stop, 3 months for the bylaw change, blah blah blah, all these things. So, but anyways, we're finally breaking ground, which is very exciting. But guys, yeah, that's why you should develop. I hope I covered everything in this video. Obviously, this is just, you know, a half an hour video, so I won't be able to. But if you have questions, drop it in the comments, DM me, whatever you want. I'd love to help out. But yeah, guys, this can change everything for you. You are one strategy, one funding strategy, one activity away from changing everything that you're doing in real estate, especially if you're in real estate. If you're not, and if you're a wealthy doctor, you're a wealthy lawyer, you have built your profession and you've got a lot of money, instead of giving it to the bank or a 401k or a, you know, Roth IRA making 6%, guys, you should be making infinite returns instead. You should be building real estate, because housing is always going to be in demand. Regardless, old houses need to be torn down. There's only so much you can do to a 1920 home and renovate it. You have to tear it down at the end of the day. Tear it down, build brand new, and pull out the money, especially if you're building multifamily. I do suggest you build multifamily, but if you want to build single family luxury and sell, you could do that too. But I'd prefer, you know, building the multifamily game. And after this, guys, I mean, I'm looking at building 20, 30, 40 units at a time. I want to do what these guys are doing over here. These guys are building massive units. So that's the next strategy. That's what I want to do. So that's what you can do, guys. And the scale is infinite, because again, if you know how to develop, that is a skill that you can take onto and do anything you could develop a hotel, you could develop a beach front, a resort, you could develop in Mexico, you could develop in whatever you want, in Ireland. Okay, but once you learn the skill of development, you could scale this. You could develop hospitals, anything you want. I want to develop dental offices back home and have it free for kids, to treat kids and do dental work, because my parents are dentists, and I will just want to give back that way. So there's a lot of ways you could scale development too, guys. One of the biggest entrepreneurs are developers themselves. Elon Musk, I know he's Tesla and spaceships, but he builds his own industrial base, his own battery centers, etc. So he's also developing, right? Malls, shopping malls, resorts. Disney World is a developer. So you gotta think to that scale, because at the end of the day, you're just managing these guys, you're managing the flow of capital, and you're understanding how capital allocation works. So you're becoming a private equity company. You're a private equity founder. Okay, that's what you are. We're not builders. We're not builders, guys. We're not getting our GC license. We're not swinging hammers. That's not what we're doing. We're allocating capital where it needs to go. And at the end of the day, capital needs value. It wants to grow. So we're growing it with developing. Real estate, obviously, one of the most, guaranteed asset class, you could call it. But at the end of the day, this is what you can do for yourself. Check it out. Just a moment of silence. Really cool. We're moving dirt. It's like real life Lego. When I was a kid, I used to go out in the yard and dig dirt with spoons. And now we're digging with Hitachi Bobcats and etc. Okay, I don't even know what this is called. Honestly, I don't know what these are, but hey, I'm learning as I go. Obviously, I know I know a thing or two, but what's most important, guys, is put the right people in the right seats, put the right professionals in the right order, and they're gonna go to town and get it done for you. Okay, so hopefully I was able to break down everything. I was as transparent as possible in this video. But yeah, guys, if you like this, subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys in future videos.